Welcome to the first ever episode of Portal Bonanza, Hoop Scoop Media's podcast that will be hopefully daily, recapping everything you need to know in a transfer portal. We are here for episode one. I have my Hoop Scoop Media polo shirt on. Kyle has a Hoop Scoop Media polo
I
shirt.
just have to find it.
He does
My
not have it
room's a
on right
mess.
now. But if
Pro
we do end
tip,
up
clean your
doing
guys' room, man.
Yeah, if we do end up doing daily episodes, which is a plan, some days might not end up as daily, depending on everything, but there will be
Schedules.
enough content at least to have an episode each day. So we will be putting out lots of episodes. The portal is crazy, and it's already starting to kind of become crazy, even though the selection show was just a few hours ago. When you are listening to this podcast, it will be Monday, March 18th, which signifies the opening of the transfer portal to everyone. So right now, just to lay some of the framework, there are some guys in the portal right now, and the guys in the portal right now are grad transfers who can enter whenever they want, and also guys whose coaches are leaving. When the coach gets fired, leaves, whatever, those guys then have a 30-day period that they can enter the portal whenever they want. So the DePaul guys could have entered the portal like 2 months ago or whenever Stubblefield got fired and still been able to do that. That overlaps in this case with a 30-day or the 45-day transfer window, which opens today if you're listening to this podcast, tomorrow for me and Kyle. So, yeah, so 45 days. It was 60 days last year, shortened it up a little bit. Any thoughts on the whole process in general?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a cool process. It's good. That coaches that get fired, those players get an opportunity to explore the waters, reach out to some coaches and some places where they think they can be a good fit. Um, And it's important to do that within the 30-day window and to really get started on that
Yeah.
process pretty quickly. I mean, things amount pretty quickly. Like, you'll contact a coach, he'll probably be back with you in a couple days and you schedule a visit. Then you basically tour the facilities and you come to a decision. You'll see people making decisions here pretty quickly,
Yeah, no
I'd
one off the
expect.
board yet. No one off
No,
the board yet, but
not yet, but a lot of
there will be
rumors.
soon. This week there will be for sure guys off the board.
Definitely.
Another thing of note, the two-time transfer rule that is done. Everyone can play. What are your
Mm.
thoughts on that, Kyle? I want to hear your thoughts because I have a maybe a little
We've
bit of
talked about this
opinion.
before, and I think we both actually have the same stance on this. I don't like it.
No.
It's just not balanced. There's checks and balances, right?
Yes.
And I think there's just going to be people just hitting the portal that really like shouldn't be. Obviously, if a coach gets fired, you should get a chance to
Yes.
transfer.
100%.
We don't disagree with that, but if you're in a situation where you're on a winning team, maybe you're behind a really good guard. Maybe you have to wait a year or two to develop. Um, and you should really wait that out and see things through with your
Yeah.
coach, and especially if he's a good coach. Like, and th those kind of guys will just transfer. Like they're not
Yeah.
gonna develop. They're not gonna, they're gonna expedite their growth and try and skip steps in the process. And I don't know if it's going to work out for like young guys who are, not all the way developed. There's probably some examples in this portal list right now that I can give you if definitely
Yeah.
do a deep dive into like the 200 players, but you
Yeah,
know,
I am with you there. I do think everyone should get one free transfer.
for sure.
Like, yeah, just it didn't work out. But then the second time that raises some red flags in some situations. But who cares? That's not a
And
thing
the thing
anymore.
is, right,
Everyone can play.
you transferring all these credits is
Yeah.
that's
And
what it
like
actually
these
is.
kids won't be able to graduate. Like that rule is
Right.
kind of in place to help them, but it's
It's
the
a
Wild
tough
West out
process for
there.
admissions, man. I'll
It's the
tell you that
Wild
much.
West. But yeah, it is crazy. And yeah, we can probably get into this list now, starting out with our top 10 players currently in the portal. or that have already intended to enter the portal. So yeah, the opening day is today if you're listening to this podcast on March 18th. But there have been some guys that aren't in the they're not entered like in the official NCAA portal database, but they have already said that when the portal opens, they're going to enter it. So we have those guys grouped in with the guys that are actually in the portal on our list right now. So yeah, me and Kyle both have lists 1 through 10. Who are we going to start with 1 or 10?
Um, let's go to 10.
Okay,
Let's go to
so
10. I have
uh,
Javon Porter at number 10.
really, I have him at 3.
I just, and you will see this with my list. J- Javon Porter was so weird this year. Like, there's just his motor doesn't seem like it's all the way
Yeah,
there.
I remember like the start of the season, like he just didn't exist. Like he wasn't playing for like the first
Bali
like
like
month.
outplayed him. Like, he was good this year.
But like he wasn't on like he didn't make his season debut until I'll pull it up. Yeah, he didn't make his season debut until December 17th, and he like no one like had any scoops on what was happening. That was a
All right.
little
There's
crazy to
so
me.
many situations in mid-major ball or even at the Power Five level where you're just completely in the dark, like with why
And
guys
like
aren't
Porter's
playing.
some guys like really don't matter, but like
Right.
Porter's like a
It's a
legit
big time
like
prospect.
people want to know if he's playing. Like
Right.
scouts want to know if he's
Especially
playing.
Pepperdine's roster. You know, they got all these NBA players. He kind of goes under the roster, under the
Yeah.
radar. So
But I had Porter at 3. A lot of that was potential based. He still has 2 years left. Plays a lot like Jonte Porter in that he's more of a big than like the Michael. Yeah, he is Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. For those who didn't know, but
hmm
yeah, he's more of a big,
he's a stretch,
still
yeah.
good athlete. Yeah, so I am at 3. I really like his potential and the right fit. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I just think
yeah,
his potential at a Power Five level, he's got to get better on defense. Definitely needs to be in a defensive culture. Pepperdine is not a defensive culture. They
yeah.
didn't try to win games.
Romar just kind of recruited and let everything else figure itself out, which it did not figure itself out,
No.
unsurprisingly. But he got guys
The
at
bigs I have
Pepperdine.
above him that are proven
Yeah,
defenders, proven on both ends, and will just fit
yeah,
in really easily at a Power Five
yeah.
level.
So
Um,
I'll go back to my 10, and that is BJ Omat.
Hit him at
I
11.
almost wanted to put him higher, but I looked at his efficiencies and they weren't like great. But again, I do think his game is translatable up to the high major level in terms of he's a good athlete, can kind of run the combo guard position a little bit, kind of play a lot of positions on the floor, can fit in well
He's
about
very
anywhere.
athletic. He's
I
very
think,
sneaky
yeah.
athletic.
I mean, he like went a Providence official visit in high school. They obviously backed out in him, which is assumingly why he ended up in North Dakota. But like he's been a pretty highly regarded guy for the type of school he ended up at.
I just fear he's just not very quick. Like he struggles to get separation. I will say this against South Dakota State. Watched that game recently. He just he could not get by his defender. Like it was just South Dakota State did a really good job on him, and that's kind of the reason I'm high on them. But we'll get on that. Like defensively, they did a really good job on him. Amat could not get free, and he kind of struggled to get separation. So I actually originally had him on 10, and then I forgot a name and slid him down to 11.
hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's so we're both about the same on him. Don't like the efficiency, but again,
room to grow for
if
sure.
there's a few summit guys that can just like plug and play anywhere in the country, I think he's probably one of them. Like
Yeah, for
he can
sure.
play any level. A guy
hmm
like Frankie Fiddler, who I love and might enter the portal. I think I'm more sold on Oma as a high major player, even though I love
More
Fiddler a lot
athletic.
more. And
hmm
just kind of fit there.
Right.
Who'd you have at number 9?
I have NJ Benson, number 9. I
I
really
was
love his ceiling, man. I think he's a special, special player.
I was so close to putting him on my list. I kind of had him and moved a few guys in, but he is so efficient. He's just like a
He's
winning
scratching the
player.
surface, man. I think he's got a lot of Jonathan Mogbo similarities, especially inside the paint. He's
Yeah.
really good on defense. He's not the distributor Magbo is, of course.
No.
That's a bonus that Magbo gives
Yeah,
you.
Benson's more of like a big guy. Magbo
Yeah.
can kind of
I mean,
run.
Benson's your traditional power five rim protector who's actually a really good finisher around the rim. He's
Hmm.
skilled, he can finish with both hands. Like he's unlocking his offensive potential. And I think he's got a
Yeah.
jumper decently that you can work on. He's a
Yeah.
lefty.
That can always be developed.
So I love
Always.
his potential. I think power fives are gonna want him.
Oh, yeah. I do. The reason I didn't have him in my top 10 was just like I just want to see more. He
Yeah.
just like didn't I mean he
He
didn't
didn't
like
emerge till
do
halfway through the season,
yeah,
really. I
and he
mean,
also didn't like he wasn't like the
huge
focal
high
point at
usage.
all.
Right.
Yeah, but I love Benson, but definitely depending on the situation, I think you can take Benson no matter what. Like some
Oh
of
yeah,
these
you know
guys,
what you're
like
gonna
I
get defensively with
some
him.
of these guys I don't want to take depending on my situation, but I don't think there's like a situation where like I don't want Benson if I have a spot for him.
Exactly. That's why he's on my list because you do know what you're gonna get for him from him. Um,
So I respect it big. Number nine, I have Kobe Sanders from Cal Poly. Cal Poly
okay.
was bad. Cal Poly was
They
bad.
were.
There's no going around that.
I do like Kobe
Sanders is
Sanders
good.
though. He's a good
He's a
player.
6'8" point guard. Is
I've
a
watched
really
him.
good offensive player considering how bad Cal Poly was. Um, like Sanders
How's
is
his?
good.
He's not a great shooter though, from what I can remember.
No, I
He's a really
don't
good athlete and
believe
slasher
so.
though. That's
Yeah, like
his
he's
game,
like a 6'8" point guard. I think he can
and he can defend. He's
play
a
at
good
the high
defender.
major theoretically once he gets in a better like defensive unit. Yeah, because of
Yeah.
his length, his
For as bad as
at for
Polly
point guard.
was, they played decent defense. They just can't score the ball. That was their thing.
Yeah, they
So I don't know.
Sanders could score the ball almost 20
True.
points a game.
He was half their offense, really. They
He
struggled to get
was
over
all
60
their
points
offense.
most games.
He was all their offense. Saying half would be
He's
kind
definitely in
of
my top 15, top 20.
yeah.
I don't know. He didn't come to my mind first, but although I did see him on a list, I'm like, I was intrigued.
Yeah. Speaking about lists, I don't know if I want to say this now before we're in the middle, but I saw On Three release like a top 10 portal list.
Oh no, it's gonna be bad. I know it.
It was questionable. Like I definitely respect a lot of the things those guys do, considering I would definitely jump if they offered me a job. But
Of course. Well, we'd sell
um,
out.
oh, I would do a lot of things to
We
work
do
for
things
them
differently, but we'd sell out.
and get paid to do this type of stuff. But
This is the
like,
stuff you enjoy the most for sure. A database you freaking wrote up is insane.
yeah. But I just realized I kind of forgot something I could have put on. But yeah, let me find your top 10 list. There was one thing that I was just like, why
You see
is
there.
this here? Um,
Fish out of water.
let me pull up the list. Maybe Jamie Shadwood. Yeah, he had Marcus Green from Houston Christian at fourth. Marcus Green's like Houston Christian was so bad. Marcus Green is like okay, but he had guys like that above Kobe Sanders, which like
I didn't watch
why?
Houston Christian this year. I didn't want to make my
Well,
eyes
good
bleed.
thing you didn't.
I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, I don't know.
People just do that just to be trendy. I like that's just not like come on. They were like that with
Yeah,
Nate Calmes a little bit too last year. Like he played on such a
yeah.
bad team. I do like Nate Calmes, but like
Yeah,
people had him
ranking all those guys
literally
is tough, but like there are some things where you're just like, why are we
he's on
doing
that
this?
bad of a school for a reason.
Yeah, and
You know.
above guys who are like good.
Right.
All right, who's your eight?
Amari Williams.
Really,
Um
I had him at two.
I've I have I'm a little, I don't know. There's just some really good offensive players on this list, right? You know what you're going to get from Amari Williams. He's like arguably the best defensive player in the damn country, right?
Exactly. So why do you have him at eight?
But offensively, he can be really weird. Like he can go
You're right.
quiet on
You're right.
offense, and that's kind of why they got eliminated by Stony Brook. Like he just has games where he doesn't do enough, right? And he's not as assertive as he should be. And I think at the Power
Yeah.
Five level, maybe he's not like this happened at the Colonial. Like, at the Power Five level, I don't know if he's gonna put up crazy usage numbers but he's gonna be locked down. You know what you're gonna get from him.
Yeah,
He's a
that
great
was
guy for Power Fives to have. He's a shoe-in for top 10 easily.
that was why I had
have
him
him a
so high. He's
I
a
have him a bit lower because I don't know how
huge
much he's gonna
guy,
get used.
elite rebounder, elite defender. Again, not a great offensive scoring option, but he can still like score from around the
Oh,
rim. Like
definitely. Yeah,
he's
he's a
not
good
like a
finisher.
complete non-factor, even though he's not the offensive weapon that you would maybe want out of him. And
Right.
maybe he can become that under the right situation, but
Awesome.
I think a
He's
lot of
also,
his
getting to probably a pretty big time league. Like shoot, I think he could fit in the Big 12 personally. He's big enough to translate to that league and strong
yeah, I
enough.
mean, I think he
Like,
could play anywhere
right. I
defensively.
mean, so, in a league like that, he's going to be facing bigs that are as big as him every night. So, I mean, you know, it's going to be an adjustment. I do feel like for scoring the ball, but I mean, he's going to be elite defensively anywhere. So,
Yeah. Number eight though, I had Peter Filipovity. I'm a big
I
Peter
do like him.
Filipovity guy.
Top 10,
He
I think,
is
it's a little, but
maybe, but like he is just so like he's an analytics guy, which is probably part of the reason why I like him, but he is just like so efficient.
he's a premier
He's
stretch four, isn't he?
he's
Right?
a good rebounder. He's not really a shooter, but like
Oh,
he
okay.
can he can kind of play in the perimeter, can
He's
kind of
got good
drive for
size.
his
He's like what, six,
size.
seven?
Yeah, he's 6'7". Yeah.
He is a good player. No, he's definitely Maine's arguably their best player along with Tynes.
Yeah, I
Both
think
of them are
I
very good.
Phil Povedy was definitely their best player this
Yeah,
year. I
this
think
year for
I
sure.
think Tynes might have regressed a little, but he's just like so
Mhm,
efficient offensively. Like his
for sure.
offensive rating was 116.4. No one else on mains was even over 100. So like
Yeah.
when he is on the
Tynes was a really
floor,
high usage. Guys would game plan for him. So,
yeah.
he's
But
also
Phil
really
Povedy,
small. So
Phil Povedy,
Filipovity's
like
ceiling is
he
the highest for
he
sure.
he he went into that number one option this year. He really delivered. Maine was like decent considering what they've been. They beat South Florida earlier this year. Phil Povedy was big in that game.
Mhm.
I just think another thing about Phil Povedy, one reason I like him a lot is
Can he
because
defend?
yeah, I mean I think he's fine in that end.
Okay.
Can't say I watch a ton of Maine, but I don't think he's like a liability.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, Phil Povedy, I was watching this like JUCO showcase like maybe like 3 years ago, whenever before he was at Maine, obviously in the summer, like I don't know why I was watching it. I watched like 5 minutes of it, but I saw Philip Hobb and he was making some like I was like, this guy's kind of good, and like no one like he was just like kind of a random at that time. So like
Right.
I've always kind of he's always kind of been on my radar since I saw him play like 3 minutes of elite basketball.
Right.
So
That's how it happens sometimes. And he's
I
like,
am
oh, I'll
I am a
remember that
big
guy's name.
I am a big Philip Hobbity guy, and yeah, I guess we'll see where he ends up. I'm kind of really intrigued to see what level he ends up
Think,
at.
yeah, mid plus, power five. I mean, who knows?
We'll see. Yeah, but who's your seven?
Rodney Rice. Um, I still love his ceiling. I would have had him higher on this list if he played a game this year. I just don't know what kind of shape he's in.
Yeah,
I think he's got big time potential. He's got great potential on the defensive end, really good shot creator. We both think he's an Old Dominion Monarch.
maybe that could happen. Like
And I
Jones.
think he could be a big time player there, make a big jump, be their best player. Um, I like Chauncey Jenkins, but he's really inefficient now. They
Yeah,
definitely need someone else next to Chauncey Jenkins who
yeah.
can play both
We
ends
we
of the
can talk
floor.
about the specifics if he actually ends up there.
Yeah, we'll see. But I like Rodney Rice's upside still a lot. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and another thing I like about him is like when he was when they brought him in, like because he hardly played at all last year due to
yeah,
injury, then like
literally.
it was more not like hardly played. Like when he started playing, though, like they gave him some decent minutes, which is definitely sticks out to see they were giving him like actual minutes like that late in the season. Um,
He was good for them in those minutes too.
so yeah, not a great team last year, but they were still like okay enough, I guess. And yeah, he had some ups and downs, but showed some potential. 3 years of eligibility left. That's definitely a plus. I didn't even really consider him for my list, honestly.
There's just
Not
some
sure if,
names that, you just look by on your list and don't
yeah.
realize they're there.
Like he didn't even play this year. He obviously wasn't at the top of my like efficiency profiles I was looking at. So
I just love his ceiling.
um yeah,
It's kind of why he's
I'm
here.
with you there. Number seven, I have Cannon Carlisle. Might be a little low, but the body of work this year was not spectacular.
Yeah,
Honestly, he
he
was
kind of peaked after that one
not
game.
like efficient overall, but
Wasn't he hurt too for a
at the
while?
start of the season, or he wasn't playing. I don't know if he was hurt or some weird
Yeah,
thing,
well, I saw
but
him at Street Close a lot. So,
yeah, his debut was December 17th, but
right.
he had some crazy games. Went off versus Arizona, went off versus Washington State when they still lost that game, but 31 versus Wazoo, 28 versus Arizona. He
His
had some
shot
big,
making ability is special. You don't see this out of many
yes.
freshmen.
He
Um,
really did struggle the last half of the season, though.
mhm. Just shot selection, not taking maybe the best
Yeah,
shots.
he was pretty inefficient overall, but it was a
Definitely
bad
say that
situation.
for sure.
He's only a freshman. He can play make too, even though he's turns it over probably more than you want. It's just,
Everyone with Jared Haas is the green light whenever they want. So you're not with a coach that's actually going to teach you how to take good shots, right? What's a good shot and
yeah.
what's not. Jared Haas is not, he doesn't care, right?
And that's
If
why
he gets
he
with a
is
right,
unemployed.
if he gets with a program that really prioritizes shot selection, really gets him to take better shots, he's going to be a big time player.
I definitely still see division with him. Where did you have him on your
I have
list?
him at four. I originally had him at two, and then I moved
Okay,
him
so
down
that's not too
because I
far
think I
from.
worry about him a little bit on the defensive end because he's not really that strong
Yes.
yet. Definitely needs to
Who
get stronger.
who do you have at six?
I have Vashawn Alette at six.
Okay.
Think maybe a little low, but the reason I have him at six and not higher is because the guys above him, I think, are going to be much better defenders than him. I think he's a little undersized.
Yeah.
But Vashawn Alette is just absolutely quick first step. He's electric off the dribble. Really special player. Is going to be getting Power Five offers. Going to be a really good guard somewhere. A
Yeah.
shame it didn't work out at Old Dominion.
I probably should have had him on my list. Like he was another guy that just like kind of forgot about since he would like didn't he's been like announced portaling for like a long
A little long, yeah,
time.
right. He got
The
kicked
off
off
the court
teams.
stuff kind of worries me. The fact that he got dismissed from the team
Yeah, I don't even know what it was
and
about. I heard
I
rumors it was
I don't know either.
academics,
Yeah.
and I don't
But
know.
also I've heard that his like camp and stuff might not be the most easy to work with or some of those issues,
That's
but he will be really good, I still think. I
yeah,
probably should
he's
have had him on my list. But yeah, he can really score, really was scoring a lot. He had like 25 versus TCU. I remember that game and it was
it's
like a
good in
good
that game.
25. Um so yeah, he will be good in the right situation. I think he'll be good any like he can play any level.
Hmm.
Just interested to see how this recruitment plays out since it's been pretty quiet, even though
Yeah, I don't know where he
he's
goes. Literally, I have no idea.
we'll see. Maybe chasing a bag,
Yeah, he will get some money.
likely. Yeah, number six. So I had Corin Johnson. I am big
Oh,
on
that's
Corin
right. He's
Johnson.
in here. Oh gosh, I
Yes,
definitely would put him in there out. I love Corin
I
Johnson.
like his ability to play two ways. Is a thing that stands out to me. Definitely saw a lot of growth from him from year one to year two. Improved as a playmaker, improved shooting the ball,
His
and
first
was
step is
playing really
unbelievably
good down
good.
the stretch. Had 30 versus Stanford a month ago. Had like 20, had 17 his last game, even 23, 21 the games before that. He was really playing his best basketball down the stretch. Can run the point, can play the two, little small for the two, but he's made it work at a high major school so far.
I'm putting
So
him at four. I love Corner Johnson. He just
yeah.
announced like a day or two ago, didn't he?
Yeah, it's
Pretty
fairly
recent.
recent.
I
Yeah.
thought I saw a Washington page post about it, and I'm like, oh wow, he's in now. So you know
Yes.
it's starting to spice up. His first step is really quick. He's got that
Hmm.
Mark Armstrong type of first step where he's just
Except he's
um
better than Mark
better,
Armstrong.
much better. He can play make, he can actually make some shots, right?
Yes.
So I think he's gonna be really good. But speaking of Mark Armstrong, you could find him on this portal list for damn sure.
I think there's a good chance of that happening. And if it happens,
So
I kind of like him now. Like
yeah, definitely as a portal
the
candidate.
potential. Yeah.
Was under Kyle Neptune.
He does Armstrong, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but he does like so many stupid things.
Yeah, the
Like he makes
turnovers.
like some great plays and just like sells the finish, stuff like
Frustrating
that.
player.
But he will be probably be good. So I guess you adjust your list a little bit there, but
So I moved
um
my number 5 to number 6, and that's Marcus
okay.
Foster from Furman.
Okay. He was just outside of my top 10.
I like Marcus Foster. I think he's really efficient. I think he's got good, better size than Pegues, so he's going to translate maybe the better of the
Yeah.
two at Power Five. I think he's better defensively. I love him as a shot creator as well. I think he's a really, really good player. And I think Power Fives are going to be all over him.
Yeah, I mean they already are. I mean I saw his
Right,
interest list the other day and it was pretty solid. Yeah, he just missed my list, but I still think he's a really good player. Can score the ball, decent enough size if he's like a two at the power
for sure.
conference level, even though he's
If
been more of like a 3-4, honestly, at firm. And
Yeah,
I think
Furman's a smaller team.
he will adjust. So yeah, I don't have any complaints with that at all. Let's see. So you can just go right ahead and go to your five
Yeah, I
then.
got Carlisle at 5 and Corn at 4.
Okay, so
I
you already
just,
okay.
yeah,
So five, I have Michael Ajayi from Pepperdine, just below Javon Porter. Ajayi was their best player this year, but I like Porter's translate ability a little bit better, more of like a pro prospect, where
hmm
Ajayi's more like a undersized big. But Ajayi did still shoot the ball well when he shot it, not like a high volume guy, but yeah, Ajayi can really rebound the ball. Solid score, not like overly efficient, but is good enough for the volume of shots he took. And yeah, I mean, can't really have any complaints about him. He put up big numbers, kind of was a really good recruit, honestly, for Omar. Like he wasn't like a highly regarded guy. He was just a guy that got from JUCO, ended up being really good. So
that
yeah,
happens at JUCO guys, man. We've seen a lot of them today with UAB, didn't we?
yes. But those guys were supposed to be good.
That's
Like
true.
the
They were high
UAB
JUCO
nailed the JUCO
recruits.
class. Ajay
Yeah,
just came out because like the JUCOs up in there in the Pacific Northwest, like that's not even NJCAA. Like that's like a
yeah.
completely different
They
JUCO
were talking
league.
about a story of this Coleman guy on UAB where he was like working at Walmart like a couple of years ago, and
Really,
like
that's
he
crazy.
was he won JUCO Freshman of the Year. He got picked up and given an opportunity there, and now he got on UAB and he's one of the really high impact players. He
Hmm.
played really well today.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
Vandenborg's a
crazy
real good
story.
guy.
Oh yeah, Landerborg's just gotten better as the season's gone on.
Yeah, he's good, but we'll see if he
Anyway,
enters the portal.
I have
I would
Ajayi
like
at
him,
2,
but
actually. I like Ajayi a lot. I think I have him higher than Porter by a lot because I just think he's got a higher motor. I think he's
yeah,
plays some more effort. I think Javon Porter's just a little lazy sometimes.
I can see it.
And yeah, especially I mean, I just don't know why he missed all this time this year. I'm just kind of worried about that. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why it was. Was it an injury? Because the Porters in the Porter family, you have to worry about injuries. It's unfortunate.
That is true.
Especially with his build, really lanky guy, he can drive, put it on the floor. He's a really good athlete, so he could get hurt with that build. Like, I'm kind of worried.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ajayi's ceiling's a little more reachable, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I think it's yeah, you kind of know what you're getting from him. Not going to be
Mhm.
as much like question marks about off the court stuff, all the other stuff. So yeah, that was my number five. Your number four, that
It's
we
corn.
already, yeah. My number four is someone you might not like. It's Jacob Cruz. I saw you commenting
That was a
Um,
very
so
ill-advised comment by me. I have to
he did
apologize
respond
for
to your
that.
comment. He did respond to your comment, which probably
The
makes it look
Oregon guy already commented it, and I just repeated myself for some dumb reason. I don't know. I was
yeah.
setting myself up, and it was just a
So
bad
Jacob
look.
Cruz probably doesn't like you very much right now.
No, he's not the
I'm
only player.
guessing. I'm
Roddy
guessing
Anderson doesn't
he
like
didn't
me
make your
either.
list then.
But I like Jacob Cruz at 3.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So we can get in the same
I
page if he's
literally
still
put
really
under
good.
his comment, you have like the highest ceiling of anybody in the damn portal. It's just like it's the other stuff I kind of worry about, like
Yeah.
and with a lot of players with really high talent, it's sometimes those little things, right? Like,
Yeah.
but he's got all kinds of scoring ability, 6'8",
Yeah.
amazing shot creator.
And
Um,
I also don't think he's someone who's like riddled with red flags if you take him. Like
right.
I don't he's not
At
like
the same
that.
time, like I was saying, body language issues. He was on such a terrible defensive team to begin with,
Yeah.
and he was a part of the issue, sure, but he wasn't the problem. Like everyone else wasn't playing defense either.
No. Like
Um,
he was a bad defender this year, but like if you put
he
him in
can
the
be a
right
good defender in
if
the
you
right
put him in the
program.
right situation, like he's a 6'8" wing, got
Yeah.
enough athleticism to
UT
get
Martin's
by.
coach wasn't, really telling guys to put in effort defensively,
No.
clearly.
And I mean that worked for them. What they did worked for
That's
them. They
true.
ran
It works in that conference.
super
It
fast
does.
offense. So then on defense, they just I don't know, didn't
Let's
play
try
very
to
well,
outscore
but
teams.
which they
It
did a
did.
lot of.
It did
Cruz was a
very
big part
well.
of that.
I
He was
picked him to
their
win the Ohio Valley. I
yeah.
don't know.
He was their
Ill
most
advised.
efficient offensive option, can score from all three levels. He
He is good.
is got good
Definitely.
size, good enough athleticism to play at the power conference level. So really no complaints with him. Like defensively, if he gets in a good defensive team, he'll probably be a good defender.
Yeah,
Like,
he's 6'8" wing. I mean, you love that on the wing.
yeah. So yeah, you had Cruz at three, then I have Porter at three. Who'd you have at two? Did we
Ajayi too.
yeah, and I had Mark Williams at two. Do we have the same guy at number one? And who's your number one?
Malik Dia.
And we honestly we didn't have the same guy at number one. I had his teammate. I had Jacoby Gillespie at number one.
Interesting.
And
I was
I
gonna put Jacoby Gillespie on here. I just think he's a little undersized. Like
yeah, that almost
I
Diaz
love
another
him
guy that
though.
could have put looking back at it, but Gillespie was just so good. He is so efficient, really efficient player.
Isn't he a
Can
good defender too? Like on a bad
yeah,
defensive Belmont team, like he
he
is
is a really
definitely
good
good.
defender. Obviously, the size is what kind of maybe can be an issue, but like he's a point guard. He's 6'1". He's not like a midget. Like he's not like that short. Um, he's a good facilitator, good defender, really efficient scorer.
I
Shot
should
like
definitely have him in my top 10. I'm guilty I don't, but I
I
love
probably should
Malik
have
Dia
Dia
too.
too.
Malik Diaz come so far as a player, I
Yeah,
think,
he is way better. I mean, I don't
than
know
he
why
used
he
to
didn't
be.
play at all at Vanderbilt last year.
We have our things of Vanderbilt.
I don't know. Vanderbilt is a disaster. But the one thing I with Dia, he just takes so many shots.
He
Like his
does, and
usage rating was like the highest in the country. Like it's
the
not going to be
reason
like
for that
that.
is because Belmont plays so fast,
Yeah.
right?
He
Um,
also didn't get a ton of minutes. So like whenever he was in, he was basically shooting the ball. But like he's decent defender
I think high
too.
majors like that. The reason being,
Yeah.
they're like, this guy has the ability to take over a game if we need him
He
to,
does. He
you know?
absolutely has that ability. I
And
will
yeah,
say that.
sure, you could tone down the shot selection under, a Power Five program, but it's good to know that he has that ability, and he's a good defender too. He's got great
Yeah.
size. He can play on the perimeter, which
Yeah,
coaches love.
he can stretch the floor.
He's developed that part of his game a ton at Belmont, and obviously playing at Belmont will naturally, you'll learn how to shoot the ball. Um,
Yeah.
so I just think he's got a lot of skills. He got great size. I just love his ceiling. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna be a
I
great fit.
probably should have had in my list. Really interested to see what he looks like at a high major. But yeah, I really like Gillespie. Can really do it all.
For sure.
Efficient offensively, efficient defensively. good
The
playmaker.
Belmont sweepstakes will be real. It's like the Belmont, the horse
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, so that's everyone on both of our top tens. I'll touch on some D2 guys real quick. Obviously, you probably don't know much about these guys. I'll just highlight some names that you might want to like keep in mind if you're a D1 fan that wants to know like some sneaky under the radar D2 prospects. Um, Tyler Karen is a guy I really like. Tyler Karan. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I don't know if you remember. He was a guy like posted clips of on Twitter that like 6'9" guy who is like could shoot from like the logo,
No,
efficient. I
I think I
posted a
did
clip
see him.
of him on Twitter, probably dropped him, but he's like chappy. He's like efficient. 40 over like 44% from three, can really good catch and shoot game,
I
deep
love
range.
guys like that.
Only averaged like 12 points per game at D2, but he could play at like a mid plus and average like 7 points a game, I think,
And
or more.
efficient.
I don't know. I don't know exactly, but like I think he's translatable to most levels. Um, Darnell Evans, guy that can really score the ball, um, has some decent interest. Amiri Stewart, can really attack basket. Good efficiency with him as well. Probably going to be a D1 guy. Colin Albert, good scorer. Trying to think if there's anyone else I really like. Kai Johnson from Western Washington. He's really good. Good efficiency. Good height. Like he's a 6'4" point guard. You'll translate up good. He has like some solid interest already, like Washington State, Oregon State, those type of schools. Um, who else do we have? Um, Milos Vicentic. A lot of these guys I haven't done my due diligence on, so I don't know a ton about. Norden Kapic. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Austrian guy from Lynn. He's good. Um, there's definitely a few other guys that I really like. Colin O'Rourke is a solid guy. Connor Dillon from Winona State is good. Marcus Overstreet from USCB, which is like some South Carolina school, averaged like 18 and 11 as a
Hmm?
freshman. So he could be decent. Jaden Wells from Central Oklahoma kind of has some shades of Max Asmus. Think he could be a decent player in D1. And yeah, that's as far as they'll go in D2. I really don't know a ton about a lot of those guys. Can't say I've watched extensive clips. There's a lot of guys that I didn't mention that are in the portal, but those are some names you might want to just keep in the back of your mind. Um, if you're a coach in D1 or fan coach, whatever. I mean, if you're a coach, hopefully you already know about those guys. But yeah, if you're a fan, guys that might pop up in your radar. So I'll touch on some of the top guys that we didn't talk about. Just real quick.
Apparently Roddy
Justice,
Gale's entering.
he is.
Oh,
Is that
rumors. I
a
don't know.
is that's not like a
Nah, I don't think it's confirmed yet,
it's
but
not like an announcement, just like maybe
no. I
I've
could
heard
see
that
that.
he maybe could. Um, Justice Ajogbor, um, from Harvard, think he's a good player due to his shot blocking, which is like elite shot blocking. I think someone like him could play anywhere just because of how good his shot blocker is. Like he can play 15 minutes a game about anywhere. Dominic Harris entering the portal. Let's see if there's any other stuff that's been like announced while we've been podcasting.
I like Joe
Um,
Octave. I think he's a
yeah,
good pickup.
yeah.
Older guy.
He's solid. Um, yeah, just
Jamel Lane and Chase
Sincere
Forte.
Parker
Mhm.
officially planning to enter the portal. I've heard
Oh,
that name he was going to, but Tipton tweeted out he's entering the
I love
portal.
Sincere Parker. So
Dom
good.
Harris, Jonathan Pierre, who kind of was bad at Memphis, but
No.
that was a guy that had like Duke interest allegedly. There's no
No.
way Duke was
Yeah,
contacting
no,
him,
no.
but he's still good at a low major for sure.
Hmm.
But
AJ
yeah,
McKee's good. I
yeah,
like him.
Cameron Hunter could be decent.
AJ McGinnis,
Yeah, just gonna throw out some names here.
Chance Moore.
Yeah, high major
Mm,
prospect or formerly, so don't hate him. Clark Slasher can really shoot. That's why you'd be taking him.
Slacker.
Slacker.
Kylan Blackman. I kind of like
Yeah,
Kylan Blackman.
I think Slacker's a WCC guy personally,
Yeah.
not a high
Santa
major guy, but
Clara.
he's really good. He's just like some of these guys just kind of have to know where they actually fit in.
Yeah, a league where he's not going to
And
get punished defensively.
yeah, Jacob Meyer was a
I
really
love
good
Jacob Meyer.
freshman,
He's good.
three-level scorer, good athlete, high major guy, definitely. Let's see, who else is there? Jerry Dang from Hampton's a guy I, like don't dislike really. He's like a
Isn't
6'9".
Dusan Neskovich like Dartmouth's like only good player? Wasn't he pretty decent?
Yeah, he was an employee of Dartmouth actually because of
Oh,
that Dartmouth thing.
oh.
Should have fired all their guys, but
All
Neskovich
right.
is decent. But yeah, Jerry Dang averaged like 10 points as a freshman on a bad Hampton team, but he can kind of score
Jordan
from,
Nesbitt.
yeah, Dang can score from all three levels. Good shot making
The
for his
Jalen Counters on
size.
here from IUP Ohio.
Yeah.
Solid for
I mean, he was
Bryce
IUPUI's
Monroe.
best player. We're just kind of the point where we're just listing names. Day Day
Yeah,
Hall from Stephen F. Austin kind of didn't play as much this season. Uh, Kind of like shut it down early, but he's a good player
Houston
when
Millette.
he gets
Yeah,
back. Yeah,
think he'll
Millette
be pretty good.
can really
Better
shoot the
at
ball, can
another
really,
destination.
yeah, former Penn State commit back in the
Hmm.
day
A
himself.
Andrew Taylor, I think, on the right
Yeah.
team, maybe a mid plus can be really good. Um, I think he
Yes.
should go back to being a mid plus and be a good shooter like a South Dakota State. It'd be nice. Could be nice.
I
That
don't know
kind
if
of
that would make
program.
sense regionally,
Yeah,
but
that kind of program where he
yeah,
can
I
take
agree.
advantage of his shooting.
Yeah, Dayton Allberry, another Queens guy. Jordan Ivy Curry. Did you see all that Jordan Ivy Curry stuff? Where his like agent, who that guy isn't even an agent. He's like everyone like mutually hates that guy that was allegedly his agent. He told like Tipton and stuff, and then
3 minutes
Tipton like
left to go in the game.
tweeted that Ivy Curry was entering the portal like when the game was like winding down. Like I'm not even sure.
It
Like
was a 2 point
you
game. They could have
like
won.
yeah, Ivy Curry wasn't even playing. Though. That like, sad him for that. But and then he tweeted like 3 days later. He tweeted like after the game, like because obviously it
This
wasn't
is not
Ivy
my
Curry's
agent.
fault. And then like 2 days later, he tweeted he didn't have an agent, and like Tipton like he's entering the portal. So I think he is in the portal like officially because UTSA got rid of their coach. And might be a grad. He's a grad too.
He
So.
is a grad. Yeah.
But yeah, and
He's
then
been
like
around.
Tipton tweeted the same thing and just like had no mention of his agent. He tweeted, "I do not have an agent anymore," which is hilarious. And I hope some of these guys can see through some of these agents out there because there are a lot that are in it for themselves and absolutely not for the kids.
No,
Um, let's
kind of get a
see.
name for themselves by
Yeah,
getting their client to enter the portal during the game.
yeah. Isaiah Miranda, I would not touch him.
He's the
I've
NC
heard some.
State guy, right?
Yeah, that he went to
Oh
Oklahoma State.
no.
He played 3 games. I've heard some bad things about him. I would not
Well,
take him.
um,
Um, I don't know. At
is he just
Nils,
not
yeah,
good in the classroom? Like, what's the deal?
I don't know, but everyone seems to think like I don't know anything personally, but everyone seems to think he has like off the court issues. Obviously,
Okay.
he like left Oklahoma State's team in like January. Like he wasn't even on the team anymore.
Oh
But
gosh, I didn't
Nils
even know
Cooper
that.
from Pepperdine
Oh
was
yeah.
a top 100 recruit this year, son of Michael Cooper, NBA player, went to deploy one time with the Lakers. Not great as a freshman, but he has the potential. I don't dislike him. Bowden Skunberg,
Sincere McMahon's a solid one.
yeah,
Bowden
good shooter.
Schomburg.
But yeah, Skunberg, not exactly what you'd want from him this year. Honestly, he didn't really. Grant Nelson not there, didn't really take that huge step up, but still a very good player. Um, Definitely going to be someone a lot of people are after in the portal.
Joe Pinion,
Yes, should be a good shooter at the low to mid
Sun
major
Belt
level.
level, Arkansas
That
State
would
Red
it'd be
Wolf.
great. We need it. Brian Hodgson, get to work. Brian Hodgson needs to get him.
He's a new Avery Felts. Uh,
Yeah,
Lucas
he
Taylor's another guy, Georgia State. He's a
yeah,
pretty
he
good
was like
player.
bad at Wake Forest and was like good this year.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
probably don't want to go back up to high major level, but he can play at a
Yeah.
mid
Get to a
plus.
better mid-major for sure.
Yeah. Texas State, a
Dion
few
Perry?
guys. Deion Perry,
Okay.
small guy, but
But
put
yeah,
up
sure.
some good numbers at
For sure.
Loyola,
Oh, Keon
Maryland, Keon
Mendenfield. We
Mayfield.
could have had him top 10,
Yeah,
honestly.
I
I
mentioned
forgot
like
about
when
him.
I was like scrolling through this, and I was like, God, there's one guy that I probably should. He was that guy. I kind of like him.
Hmm.
Jalen Terry from DePaul, I actually do like,
Okay.
even
Yeah,
though
he looked good against Villanova.
DePaul was like so bad. Like I've been talking like the guys I want DePaul to keep are Terry, the freshman Churchill Bass, and
I
Elijah
like him.
Fisher.
Hmm.
But they're not going 3 for 3 weeks. I already lost Terry. Let's
Josiah
see.
Shackelford. That's my
He wasn't even
boy.
good.
He
You
did
like
not look
hyped him
good
up like
today.
crazy, and he didn't even
He did
play.
not look good in his
But
minutes, so I'm not gonna lie. I did see them.
yeah,
He
he was
was
like a
hyped up to
good
be
JUCO
decent,
recruit.
but Brandon Lowe
Justin,
of Texas
yeah,
State, I actually do like. He looked really good in the Sun Belt tourney. I will say that much.
yeah, Justin Wright from Loyola Marymount, pretty good guy. Formerly NC Central, where he was a big star there.
Oh gosh, that's right. AJ Casey entered. Oh
Yeah,
man.
he might just be like bad. I'm
Maybe
not
he's
gonna
just not
lie.
good. That's true. Same with Christian Watson. I don't know about either
Yeah.
of them, man.
Casey was one of those guys that was like super highly ranked when he was younger and then kind of
Fuzz.
fell down. I'm really skeptical of guys like that. But I like
Yeah,
Casey's skill set. I think he's just like kind of
for
slow for the
sure.
high major level, not really. I think Casey, I was like high in Casey before this year, so like I still kind of think if he gets to the right
For
program,
sure.
hopefully not a power conference school, he could be pretty good. Frank Mitchell, elite
Colin
rebounder.
Smith, 3 and
Yeah.
D.
Yep.
Like Chase Johnston a lot, even though he didn't play at all
Can
this
really
year.
shoot the ball, allegedly, not this
Mm.
year,
It
but
hurt Florida Gulf
he's a
Coast not
shooter.
having him this year.
He's a shooter,
Um,
yeah. Roger
mhm,
McFarlane, good Southeastern Louisiana
that's
player.
good. Mm.
Jason Rivera Torres, Vanderbilt freshman. Was the best out of the Vanderbilt freshman. Freshman issues, but a lot of potential there. Mo
Kylan
Odom,
Milton's pretty good.
Kyle Milton's good. Yeah.
Remember we
He played in the swag. He was like efficient, like he
hmm
did everything you want. Don't know like how high he tries to go
Isn't Chase
though.
Davis pretty good, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't even.
Maryland Eastern Shore. Now he's one of their few. I just remember from the previews, he was definitely one of the guys that I had being one of their featured options.
Not really. Yeah, average like 6 points a
Max
game.
McKinnon's pretty
Yeah, Max
good, isn't
McKinnon's
he?
good.
Yeah, he's from
Yes.
Australia, I believe.
Mo Odom though. Pacific was terrible, but like he's a good true point guard. I think our teams just
Gosh,
need a true
and
point guard.
Anwar Gill's on here. Oh man,
Yeah.
he's not that bad, but I mean, I don't know where he would go.
George Washington III, not to be confused with our first president. He's not his grandson either.
Or the
Just to
team
clear it up, not George Washington, the first grandson, but good
from
shooter
Michigan.
from
Yeah,
Michigan. Yeah, 3 years of eligibility. And that's about it.
yeah.
We just kind of rambled through names. Sorry if you didn't really keep up there, but we'll probably have more structured once we have like a day of guys to talk about. So, any last thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
The portal's about to go crazy today or tomorrow, whenever you're listening to this. March 18th, today it's going to go open. There were like maybe like 200 entries last year, or at least over 100. It's
Yeah,
gonna get
it's
crazy.
crazy.
A lot of the guys
Mm-hmm.
that are entering are the guys that like have announced their intentions to enter, so
Mm-hmm.
there's that. But there's some there are some guys that I've heard might enter the portal that are
Game
big time
breakers.
players. So
Yeah.
yeah. It's going to be a fun portal season, and we hope you are with us for every step of the way because we will provide the best portal content daily. Just listen to this podcast every day, and you will know who is in the portal, who you want to go after. And yeah, once we get into like the full swing of the portal and we know like what teams are going to be looking for, we will analyze a team, analyze team needs, who could be good fits, where do you think these players are going to go. There's just not enough players gone from teams right now to make things
Yeah.
like that. But once the portal really gets started, we will crank out some good content. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed episode 1 of Portal Bonanza. Make sure to follow our Instagram, Twitter at
Do we
Hoopscoop
make a
Media.
bracket podcast of going through the bracket? The couple people on here.
We could do that. I mean, we still have a few days to do that
Yeah,
and figure it
we
out.
need
But
to definitely get a couple brackets under our belt before we do that. But
yes, I agree. But
um,
yeah,
definitely could be good to talk through and just see where our heads are at and tell our followers to see where our heads are at. Because I definitely think they're
absolutely.
curious. Already gotten a
But
lot of people, when are
yes.
you going live? So I did a little live today.
Yes,
So
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. At Mid Major
um,
Basketball. Follow Kyle at Mid Major
oh,
Basketball.
thanks,
No
Austin.
spaces on Instagram.
He's the ghost behind Hoop Scoop Media. So
Uh, Follow my Twitter too at Austin. It'll be up on the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. And if it's not, I think it's in like the Hoop
the
Scoop
shameless
Media Twitter
plug,
bio. But yeah, trying to kind of put a little bit of stuff on there. I tweet out some guys' interest lists, like kind of B tier
for
portal
sure.
players that I'm talking to because I'm yeah kind of getting some scoops out there. You know,
Especially if the
you know
D2 and the
me.
JUCO level you have good connections with. It's always
Yeah.
good to know what you know about that level. So
Yes. The D2 has some ballers.
they do.
But yeah, we will be back maybe tomorrow. Probably we have to do a podcast tomorrow night because it's the first day of the portal. We're gonna have too
Yeah,
many guys to go through. We'll have too many guys to go through anyway. But if we wait, we'll have way
it's
too
gonna be
many guys
bad.
to go
Yeah,
through. So yeah, Portal Bonanza.
it
Better
is Among Us.
indeed it is. Yeah, we will see you tomorrow for episode 2. So it's gonna be a daily thing. You won't have to wait weeks or maybe months because we haven't released our other podcast in a few months.
Right.
But
It
this
was a
is
good time to take a return, let the
yeah.
season wind down,
But
and then
yeah,
everything starts to ramp up again.
Portal podcast though, you're not gonna find that anywhere else. You could have found a
No.
replacement college basketball
Um,
podcast.
and the thing
Not gonna
is, like with the portal now, it's going to be going on during March Madness. Like it's
yeah.
like we didn't experience that even last year. Like it started on the off season, like this year around, with all there's no limitations at all. Like people are literally going to be entering the portal.
Yeah.
Who knows when?
Last year of COVID year guys too.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because yeah, so the portal might get a little bit smaller next year, but in the two-time transfers, anyone can jump in.
All
So
right.
anyone and everyone's gonna be chasing bags, which I really don't hate that. I mean, if you can really get like
It makes
wealth
it fun
that'll
for us. It definitely makes it fun for us.
yeah, it'll be
The
fun.
coaches, oh, it's a little more difficult, but
The coaches can get up and leave whenever they want to,
it's
though.
true.
I mean, it's a
That
two-way
is a very good
street.
point.
So yeah. Are you going to be going to any tournament games?
I don't know. The tournament games, I'm gonna be honest, they're like the most expensive sporting event. Like they
Yeah.
are. I remember I also saw like some Pittsburgh region games. Literally looked like last week. Me and my friends looked. It's like $500, the cheapest ticket. Like
It's
it's ridiculous. And the
yeah.
Pittsburgh games suck. Like it's NC State, Texas Tech, and some other random game. Like man,
Yeah.
$500 for that? Like no.
Yeah,
So
I
I might
got
watch them somewhere nearby, or
yeah.
you get
It's
near the
almost
same
better. If
experience.
if you're not like right next to one, it's almost kind of better to just sit back on a couch, have like 5 TVs going.
Or that too.
Um,
Cannot go wrong with that.
no. But yeah, I do have tickets to Omaha. I really liked Omaha draw.
I'm about to say the Omaha
It's a
draw was
good
one of the
one.
better ones.
It's a good
Is it
one.
Nebraska there, right?
No, it is
I thought they were there. Okay.
the BYU Duquesne
That's good.
Illinois Moorhead and Iowa
Oh,
State, South Dakota State, Wazoo, and Drake. So
oh, those are awesome games. Yeah, those are
absolutely,
games
I
I think going
am.
to be upset filled, I
This is like
think.
the
But
first time I've ever gone to tournament in Omaha, and we don't have Kansas, which is
wow, that's
great.
good.
They always go
That's a
there.
good thing.
But yeah, enough of us rambling on about this. Subscribe to our podcast. Tweet at us. I don't know. We'll see you tomorrow.